I have to ask you boys a question because this is a question that is important.
Okay.
Favorite film in the original saga? Now I know a lot of people out there are going to be like, "You're not going to talk about Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, or Rise of Skywalker?"
No.
No.
Personally, it's not. If you like those movies, awesome, good for you. For me personally, it wasn't good.
If you want us to discuss about the prequels or the trilogy after the original, write it in the comments section.
Yeah, then we'll talk about it.
If you want.
I listen. I'm gonna say this because I'm gonna say you're gonna pick one from the prequel trilogy and one specifically from the original trilogy. I want to make sure that it's split into two groups so that way we can understand. That way the audience member that is watching this can go, I see where he's coming from. I get his choice. I may not agree with it, but I see where he's coming from and why he chose it. So that begs the question, who the fuck wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sure. And then we'll take a commercial break.
I would say episode 3 of the first trilogy.
Of the prequel trilogy.
Yes. And then
No,
episode 6 of the second of the episode.
So you like Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
Okay.
My favorite, just because I thought the 6 is my favorite overall. Period.
What's your prequel favorite?
Prequel favorites 3 because.
Okay, so Revenge of the Sith and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of shocked.
Return of the Sith.
I mean, not wrong.
The fuck was that?
My mom.
Yeah.
So anyway, Nikos, good sir, while I drink this lactated milk that's from a cow, drink milk. It's good for bones, I think. Give me blue dye and it's Star Wars milk.
Oh god, don't worry. My movie is not that. For me, it's going to be Empire Strikes Back. I think it's just the perfect sequel. And plus, it had the greatest pipe bomb ever in cinematic history.
Yeah, it's the greatest fucking... I don't want to even spoil it in case if some kid comes on here and goes, what's the ending of Empire in case if I've never seen it. Boy howdy, just watch the movies. It's the greatest cinematic, turnabout ever. It will always go down. It's one of the best Star Wars movies ever made. Exactly. And your prequel.
Prequel? I'd have to go with Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith.
I was never...
Jedi, one Empire Strikes Back.
I wasn't too much favorable with the Attack of the Clones because I thought it was just straight up, ugh.
It's the middle ground of the trilogy that's a little... Like, as I said, the weakest movie of the prequels is Attack of the Clones. The weakest movie when it comes to story is going to be Return of the Jedi. The weakest one for the nowadays movies is going to be The Last Jedi as well.
Exactly.
It's just one of those things. And if you like those movies, you can. That's cool for you. I don't care.
Yeah. Of course, Phantom Menace was good at the time because we got to see Darth Maul, but, afterwards when we got to see Darth Maul revived again in, Clone Wars and Rebels, I just get the feeling that he was pretty much killed off due to overexposure.
Yeah.
And plus, he was doomed to fail. And to quote from Freddie Prinze Jr., he is Sisyphus. Entirely Sisyphus indeed. He is doomed to fail.
Yep. The Phantom Menace. I know. I can already hear it.
To each their own. I guess I'm not making fun of you for that.
No, I know. The reason why I picked the Phantom Menace personally is I think when it comes to structure, it's the best beginning you're gonna get for the Star Wars saga.
For any saga, really.
You get Qui-Gon Jinn with Liam Neeson. You have fucking Ewan McGregor, his first time being Obi-Wan, and he kills it. You have Ray Park being Darth Maul. It's a great movie. The pacing, it's not bad. I don't know where people are coming from where it's the worst one of them all because Jar Jar? That's the only reason?
I think
The only reason
reason
it's a
is not only
character
Jar Jar,
constantly
but
gets fucked over the whole movie.
I think they was because of the whole midi-chlorian issue.
What's the problem with midichlorians? They use science to figure out how the Force works.
Exactly.
Jar Jar
Listen, not everybody can be magical space wizards, okay? That's what they are. They're magical space wizards. So, for me, it's the Phantom Menace, because of that, the ending is so good. The ending bit of Phantom, Duel of the Fates, is one of the best tracks that John Williams will ever make. Even Battle for the Heroes will not be on the level of Duel of the Fates. It's so fucking good. And the choreography for that fight is fantastic. It's the reason why we have the LCC, which is a lightsaber choreography contest that happens every year.
Mm-hmm.
And then that leads into my thing, which I'm going to agree with you, Nikos. The best Star Wars movie of all time is going to be Empire Strikes Back. My God, Empire is the best movie. Empire gets everything. It has zero problems, has the best character development for those characters, and nails it every single time I watch it. And my God, just the planets. That's my other thing with Phantom. The movie got shit for the amount of CGI that's used. But let's be honest, do you really want to see Lucas go, I found a desert. Whole fucking planet's a desert. I found trees. Whole planet's covered in trees. It's a snow planet. Clouds and shit.
Yeah.
Instead, they were able to go, okay, Naboo, which is like one of my favorite planets of the entire prequel trilogy. It's a fucking
of course.
Fun fact, actually, do you know how they made the waterfall effects?
I think you told me before, but I forgot. Whoa, what was the effects?
Salt.
Salt.
They poured salt in specific patterns to make it look like the overflow, like the foam that comes from waterfalls from a high altitude. It's awesome. Such a cool idea. The fact you get to see Coruscant, and it looks impressive. It's a super city. It's a gigantic city-sized planet. It's huge. It's massive. You get to see the Jedi Temple for the first time. It's the last time you're going to see Puppet Yoda before they go Crouching Tiger, Hidden Muppet. Lightsaber I have in my pants. But yeah, since we have the time, how would you guys have done this sequel trilogy?
So, like the whole Rey trilogy, you mean?
Yeah, what would you have done?
Are we talking the new movies?
We're talking about the new movies. How would you have done it? Because I know a lot of people have their own interpretations on how they would have done it. How would you have done it?
Not make the fucking Jedi a religion, for one.
The Jedi is a cult.
Yeah, it is.
Dude, they take kids from when they are born and turn them into Jedi Knights. It's just how that works.
Yes, but the way they do it is kind of...
Dude, the Force is a religion.
Is it?
It's the...
Okay,
but they make it so obvious, where it was like, before it was like subtle, and now it's not. It's just like, oh, it's a religion now, and it's like...
The person that you can blame for it is the woman that goes, there wasn't enough female representation in Star Wars. I'm sorry, isn't Princess Leia like one of the most important cinematic characters of all time? Yep. Isn't Padme Amidala one of the most important cinematic characters of all time?
How about Clone Wars?
Do you not like Ayla Secura, Asajj Ventress? Do you not like Shakti? Ahsoka Tano? Do you not like those characters?
And a lot of people go crazy for Ahsoka. It's insane.
Everybody likes Snips, dude. I don't know. But yeah, how would you personally, and that's to the person that's watching this as well, how would you have done?
Well, I know a lot of people are going to be like, they had no problems with Force Awakens. But when it comes to The Last Jedi,
The Force Awakens is literally A New Hope. It's the same fucking movie. There's no differentiation.
Yeah. Han Solo's movie in that is fucking dog shit.
Yeah, well, you're talking to the wrong person about that.
Fucking movie.
I mean, honestly, I understand like the whole Rey, like her journey and Finn and with Poe, but it feels more nostalgia bait.
But
we
here's
get to
the
see all these old characters.
But here's my problem with it. It is the most. How do I say this? It is the most non-thought provoking story ever.
Yeah.
Because I don't even care. I'm going to spoil this bit because I don't give a shit enough.
Yeah.
James, do you know who Rey's dad is? I'm sorry, her grandfather?
Her grandfather.
I'll give you a hint. Vader threw him down the fucking reactor shaft of the Death Star and he lived.
Oh, yay.
Her granddad
and
is, of course, Chancellor Palpatine.
You will.
Oh, fuck off!
Uh-huh. It's not even clever.
So, at some point, we gotta realize Palpatine boned someone.
No. Well, let's be honest. Let's be honest. He unofficially inseminated somebody. We know it's true.
Or it was just a clone. Personally, and this is a problem I had with Rey.
He's done in the comics. He's already done the whole "I'm a clone" thing. That's already happened.
Yep.
I was hoping Rey would have been a clone from Force Awakens. I feel like that would have been much better.
Can I tell you what I would have preferred?
Go ahead.
She's the spliced DNA of Palpatine and Padme Amidala.
Yeah.
Which is why Luke gives her that look in the original in those movies, like, holy shit, it's my mother. Because she looks like Natalie Portman just a little bit. Daisy Ridley looks like fucking Natalie Portman just a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, and Mike, can you please tell the audience who Anakin Skywalker's father was?
Isn't that
Because
Chancellor
I remember
Palpatine?
You told me years ago.
Yeah, it's Chancellor Palpatine. It's like 100% confirmed that his father is Palpatine. It's right there. It's in black and white. We all
knew from the horse's mouth.
No. Can I tell you what I would have done? Can I tell you what I would have done in the sequel trilogy? And then we'll cut to commercial.
Sure.
I would have had Luke have a wife and have a son. I would have had him try to cut a little bit of the classic Jedi tendencies and do his own thing with it. I would have had him not be an isolated loner that's trapped on a planet by himself because of the fact he tried to kill his nephew. I would have had him go back to Yavin and train underneath the Masasi Temple that's on Yavin 4. The place where the Rebel Alliance starts, where he has the most nostalgia for, because that's where he gets his first medal. I would have had his wife maybe have been a member of the Empire, maybe like a hand of Chancellor Palpatine. Why not? Leia's kids become Jedi, and so does Leia. Leia becomes a Jedi as well, and Han is actually a father and isn't like just abandoning his kids, because let's be honest, Han doesn't really have that type of personality for some reason. At least mentally to me, he doesn't seem like the type of person to be like, "Oh, fuck this, I'm cutting and running." He doesn't usually do that.
No.
I would have also done the whole twins angle with you could totally take like the actors playing Kylo Ren. You could take Daisy Ridley and have them as their respective characters, but have them as the children of Han.
I would have just gotten. I would have gotten Kylo Ren. I don't know how you can.
He's a good actor. He's not a bad actor. He's a good actor. He's just not a bad.
But the way it was written in the film was edgy.
It's not his fault. It's the script. You can only blame the fucking writer of the story for why it has problems.
I mean, Adam
Driver. I know somebody out there is going. And I know somebody out there might be going, "Holy shit, that's a really good movie." What's that about? Well, you see, before the and I'm gonna just look this up before I forget, so that way I have this. Current owner of Star Wars. I just want to know her name off the top of my head.
As for me,
this will just take a second. You guys can continue talking.
Sure. I mean, Force Awakens, I mean, it was okay, but, obviously some people had problems with it. But the one thing people really had a problem with Last Jedi. Now, after looking back at Last Jedi, the only thing about the movie that didn't have much of a problem were centered around 3 characters: Luke, Rey, and Kylo. I thought the development was really good. I thought that Luke's, coming to redemption with himself and, having to reconnect with Leia right before he goes is good. I thought we get to learn a little bit more about Rey's past and learn a little bit more of Kylo. The problem with Last Jedi, everything else. I did not like the whole casino side mission because it was all just pointless, and it was basically just an excuse for a set the animals free chase. Their mission to find the smuggler was pointless. There was literally no reason for them to even trust him because we knew from the get-go he was working with First Order. And finally, the whole chase where all the resistance ships are going to their base and they're being chased by the First Order. And what's really stupid is the whole mutiny. Like, all Holdo could have done was tell Poe and everyone else what the plan was. But she decides to be quiet. And that results in the mutiny. Like, what logic is this? Oh,
wait, there was logic?
Okay, so I got my Google facts ready to go for who the current president of Lucas Films is, and you might actually see a pattern and trend here. And I'm quoting her, by the way. So Kathleen Kennedy, who was the producer for E.T. and Jurassic Park franchise, and is now the president of Lucasfilm specifically, and has been working there since 2012. Said our films would be more popular if we had the comics to fall back on. Now, I'm going to say this because it's important. The company that she works for made those comics not canon in order to make the new sequel trilogy. Now, James, all that stuff that I was telling you prior, about Luke, getting older and still have Kylo and still have Rey and do the fun stuff with that, already existed. And in the comics, it's a really interesting storyline that leads into the Yuuzhan Vong War, where Luke literally opens up every cell in his body to the Force and becomes a conduit for the Force. So Luke's wife, whose name is Mara Jade, who was the right-hand assassin of the Emperor, who was sent to kill Luke but couldn't, so Luke trained her, they got married, and had Ben Skywalker. Still fucking pisses me off. It is Ben Solo. Of course, because we had to do that.
Because he's been Solo for most of his life.
Anyway. So Han's oldest son, Han's twins, who we'll say are Kylo and Rey, just to put them in this perspective, because I want to keep those actors in as their respective characters. Kylo becomes Sith, Rey Jedi. You can still do that whole thing, and it's a way better story, because that fucking storyline is not bad. And the Yuuzhan Vong will work as an incredible backdrop of this whole thing, because these fucking the Yuuzhan Vong War have been talked about since KOTOR 2. Let me explain. Actually, even KOTOR 1.
Yeah.
You mean a character whose name is Canderous Ordo. Now, Canderous is a Mandalorian bounty hunter. He fought during the Mandalorian Wars. He fought against Darth Revan. He is one of the greatest companions that you'll ever have in the game. He is your fucking tank character. He will take a shit ton of damage and act like nothing hit him. So Canderous literally says that we found a meteorite out near the Outer Rim, and when we attempted to chase after it because it started flying at hyperspeed, it disappeared past the Outer Rim and we couldn't chase it. Now, the Yuzhong Vong War in the comics, and with all the extra media and everything else that we have been planning their perfect attack against the Republic for about 4,000 years. They just had to pick the worst time period ever to go after Luke. Out of all fucking Jedis, you go and pick a fight with the Chosen One. The Chosen One, that whole thing that, George was leading towards, that there is a Chosen One in the Force, the person that has the highest midichlorian count, the one that will bring balance to the Force, that whole fucking thing, that really fucking important thing that's been in Star Wars since Episode 1 and has been talked about forever. The Chosen One, that whole fucking archetype. Yeah. Even though I'm not a fan of that storyline, it works. Mm. So Kathleen Kennedy, who is female power, feminist, by the way, I should probably put that out there. She's a feminist. Yeah. Just so that way it's out there and people know. Mm-hmm. It says there wasn't enough female. There wasn't enough female representation in Star Wars. I can name 5 off the top of my head. Asajj Ventress, Shakti, Aayla Secura, you have Snips. Oh, and who's this other character? Luke's married to her. Mara Jade. Mara Jade, who's like one of the most badass women in the galaxy. I know a lot of people are going, Mike, you're getting kind of frustrated about the situation. When your favorite character gets cut from the canon for the fact it's some dumb, moronic, stupid fucking agenda instead of storytelling. Yeah. And I'm not gonna bash Rogue One. Rogue One was a very good movie. Rogue One's the best Disney Star Wars movie out there, and I am proud to say that it's the best one. It's the best thing that they could have ever made. But James, have I ever told you about the one-man army who actually obtained the Death Star plans?
No.
So I remember distinctly from that story.
Yeah. So this is guy, right? He's been trained by Luke Skywalker. Actually, he finds the Valley of the Jedi, which is like this big old location that his father primarily keeps secret, which allows our main character here to gain more strength and fight off the Sith, to fight off the remnant of the Imperial Army. So Kyle Katarn, this motherfucker, single-handedly steals the Death Star plans. Single-handedly. This badass steals the Death Star plans all by himself, like nothing happened. Now, if you don't recognize the games he's in, James, I'm going to give you a little bit of a quick thing, if you don't mind.
Okay, go for it.
Ready? So Jedi Dark Forces is a Doom-inspired Star Wars game where you play as Kyle Katarn, and the first mission that you do, steal the Death Star plans and massacre the Imperials. Massacre them. They're in your way. Kyle also punches a dragon in the face and kills it. Kyle kills a dragon with his bare hands in the Star Wars canon. We're talking about the same character who fought Jarek at the Valley of the Jedi and kills him using the well of the Force inside of the Jedi of the old Jedi ruins. We're talking about a character who single-handedly destroys an Imperial fucking Star Destroyer from within.
Great.
By himself. And what do we do as an incredible entertainment product that has been making movies for the past 60, 70, 80 years? We completely cut the character out in order to make more money. We cut out one of the best characters who was in the Jedi Knight series. The character who is the fucking greatest gray Jedi in history who goes, it's not about your force powers, it's just being calm when you use them.